Hey everyone, Honest Chewy here, and this will have to be my setup for now. I've got a very angry Jared Leto and a very if well you can't really tell it's Will Smith with that mask on. You can actually a little bit with his eye, but he's staring at me, and I'm back finally. It's been a while since I've made a video, and it's because I haven't been very well. I've had a few complications going on. It's nothing like to worry about. It's just stuff that I'll need to keep an eye on for future. In other words, I'm getting stuff earlier than I should do. But to be honest with you, I'm fine now. Like I said, looking into it with the doctors, but I'll be absolutely fine. Um, in other words, I was feeling like I was going to pass out all the time, which is not what I want, especially on camera. I mean, it might get the views up, but no, I'm fine now. Haven't felt like that in a while now. But yeah, it's been about a month. Well, longer than a month, hasn't it? I mean, the Coke video was about 6 months, maybe. I don't know. But a reason I'm making a video is I was going to make a video before this, before I was sick. June, I was going to make a video then, but I haven't been well. So now I'm better. And let's get into the video, really. But first things first, in case you probably have noticed the background, I'm still recording in my room, but I don't have my chair yet. So the desk is very cluttered at the moment, and my guitar's there. I'll quickly show you it. We're not going to get to see this on camera. And if you hear rustling, it's because I've had to balance my camera on this. The toilet rolls. Look. God, it's a little storage room for now. Good view though. And right, you might hear rustling. I do apologise. There we go. That worked out better. Right. So if you do hear any like rustling, it should be fine now. But it's balanced my toilet rolls because I made a makeshift stand because it took ages to get this angle. Otherwise, it would have just been my head. So what the video I was going to do a while back was about a show called Shogun, and I was going to do a full review of that. But as you probably can tell by the title, this is actually the best show watched in a while, and it's called Sweet Tooth on Netflix. And don't get me wrong, the Shogun's good, and I highly recommend the Shogun. But what I've recently just watched when I wasn't well, when I was ill, was Sweet Tooth, and I have to say it's really good. It's quite surprising as well because there is some bits of it, especially the first season, that I'll get into it. I won't spoil it. I'll warn you if it gets even a little bit spoilery. I'll warn you. But Sweet Tooth is a Netflix original show, and it's about these animal humans called hybrids. Best way to describe them. You probably see on the cover there's the kid with the deer horns and the ears, and it does, like, from the thumbnails, like from the photos you look at, it does look daft. But don't be put off by it, and don't think that it's going to be like a kids show, because it's really not. This is why I think the show surprised me as well. It deals with a lot of stuff. I will let you know what the show's about. So I will say what the threat is in the show, so to speak, and I will tell you a little bit about like the hybrids, but I won't spoil it. It's nothing major spoiler I'm going to go over. Like I say again, I'll warn you if I do. I always do. So first things first, this released during COVID lockdown when it was getting filmed. I think it was 2021 it came out. I can't remember. It might have been 2020. But you can tell with the first season, anyone who's watched it, you'll be the same as me. They've cut a lot of stuff out of it for obvious reasons. The main virus of the show, because there's pretty much what's happening is the world's gone mad, and there's this virus out that's killing people. And 2020, it's an airborne virus, and it's pretty much like we don't know what it is in the first season, but everyone, obviously the main thing you do with the virus about, you wear masks all the time, and you can't go outside, you have to self-isolate, stuff like that. It didn't go into that, but it cut, like where it starts, it cuts quite over that main bit of it. It felt like especially the first episode, Felt like they cut a lot out for that reason, which makes sense because even I thought some of it was a bit on the nose, especially with obviously recent events that happened. We don't really want to watch a show that has that in, not like to that extent of the effect it had, but this show like deals with a lot of surprisingly heavy stuff, which was good. Um, it's like, for instance, I won't spoil it, but it's just about Sweet Tooth. Well, yeah, and it's about he pretty much he's living in a forest, and he's living with his dad in the forest, um, and he's just having like a sort of nice easy life, and then obviously we know that's not how it's going to go. And if you've seen the trailer, you know that stuff goes down. And pretty much, I'm going to just skip to one bit because there's a character I want to mention. It's not a spoiler here, but he meets someone and they just refer to him as Big Man. And I have to say, like, it sort of does the thing. Now, this is the downside of the show. I say downside, the bit that it's the same gripe I get with movies. A certain movie I watched was the same. I think it was that one where I've totally forgot the name is, where they have the building on the wheels that moves across the beach and they fight each other. It was very rushed. I've totally gone blank on what the name was. But it had the girl who had the mask up and she had a scar across, and it was like this building, this town that moved, and they were fighting each other. Some machines, I can't quite remember. But it was done crap. But if I remember rightly in that movie, you'll know what I mean. It's got the guy out of Lord of the Rings in it as the villain. You'll know by that what I mean. Pretty much it zoomed in on characters, like actors, like you were supposed to know them. You were supposed to be like, oh my god, it's him. You know, like when the camera zooms in and there's like a celebrity, and you're like, oh my god, there it, and it sort of does that like a sort of dramatic sort of, like and you kind of feel, I don't know who you are, and I don't really care who you are right now. Like, there's a certain guy in it, the doctor, I'll say. It centers around like one, two, three plot lines, technically four, but the two are tied together with Sweet Tooth. So I'll let you know. It goes, Sweet Tooth is obviously the main protagonist, and Big Man, and then it goes to the doctor and his wife, and then it goes to this woman in the sanctuary. I think it's like a zoo, looking after one of the hybrids, the pig hybrid. Which I have to say, first things first, the cast is amazing. The actors are mint. Technically, there's five things it focuses on really, because it's obviously General Abbott as well, which that focuses on the last men. And then there is obviously, technically there's six really, but you can see why they do it the way they do it. Let's just say that. It's not a spoiler, but they do things a certain way and it works. And but the main gripe I had with the show to start with, still had it a little bit near the end, but it wasn't too bad last season. I just felt first season, and I don't know if you agree with me with this, but there was too many flashbacks. It was way too many. It wasn't that there was too many flashbacks. They went on too long. Like the Doctor one, I couldn't have cared less about him. He did my head in throughout the whole season. Like he literally was one of the worst characters in the show, in my opinion. He was bad. He wasn't someone to root for, and they were trying to make you feel for him and feel for his missus, and I didn't, because they knew exactly, like, let's just say this, there's something that can prevent said virus, but what to do to get it, I won't spoil it, is very inhumane and very messed up. It's something you wouldn't do. Give me like 1 minute, my hay fever is playing. Damn allergies. Every time. Thank God I can pause this one, so I'm using my old phone so I can pause the camera. I'm back. So as I was saying, what they do is very inhumane. So I'll quickly, I'll just glimpse over it. I won't tell you anything. It's all in the first episode, so it's not a spoiler. It's just stuff that, if you haven't seen any of it, I want to sort of, leave that. Pretty much, the doctor meets a doctor, and they've got, it's not a cure for the virus, but it does sort of gets rid of it for a bit and then it comes back. It's sort of like the stuff you sort of got with some of the modern stuff we have, like some of the, like, it gets rid of it but it'll come back. It's not a complete cure, and it's gone completely. And the way they get the cure, like I said, it's very inhumane. It's very like messed up. It's not child friendly. Literally, you'll know that. I'm not going to say anything else. All I'm going to say is he finds out straight away, right off the bat, how it's done, and he obviously reacts how anyone would react to this thing. Is, oh, I can't do that. That goes against everything I believe in, right? Which I don't think he had to state that, because obviously we don't know when he's saying this. We don't know how to do it, and then it obviously shows us, tells us, and as a viewer, like what I want about, it's messed up. You don't do that. Why even go down that route? I don't know, but they decide to, and you put it this way: you root for the last men, definitely to be killed off. You don't like the last men. It tries to make you feel bad for a few of them, but doesn't work. Not in my opinion, anyway. Not for what they do. And like I say, the doctor, he knew straight off the bat, and he still went ahead and did it. And he was saying, "Oh, same wife." She knew. There's the only little, plot holes, because obviously as it goes along, it goes a certain way, and I'm like, yeah, you were, she knew. He tells her straight away how it's done. And like I say, as season goes on, it acts like she doesn't know. It acts like she just found it out again, and I was like, you knew straight away. And it tries to make you feel bad for them, like it tries to make you care for them, but you don't, because they're doing something very messed up to get a lit. It's not a cure. It's not even a cure. It's like it just sort of delays it. That's the best way to describe it, because it comes back instantly. It's like it only lasts a day, this thing they take. He says a month, but when he opens the box, he has like loads of them in the box, and he says that whole box that's full will last a month. So it's every day after. It's a bit like if you have diabetes in a way. It's a bit like the insulin. Best way to describe it, really. You have to take it every single day, but it only sort of uh, prevents it, so to speak. It doesn't get rid of it, and that's what this does. And it's very, how to do it's mad, like messed up. And these two are quite old too. Like they're not old, but the 40s, easy. I know it's not old, but it's older than. I will just say one thing. I'm only going to say one thing how to get the killer is children. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, that's how messed up it is. But it's really good at the same time, because it adds a lot of tension, a lot of scenes where you're like, oh, I really don't know what's going on here. Who's next, sort of thing. And anyway, as the seasons go along, that's my first gripe, is, like I say, too many flashbacks with him. And then there's the woman who looks after the hybrids. You see it straight away. She has a shelter for them all, and she looks after them. And it does that thing where they'll walk on screen and it'll zoom in on the face. Like I should know him. They did it with Big Man, but I get why with Big Man, and at the ending it makes sense. But with this woman, that you'll know, it's sort of it's how it's sort of done. It's not that you don't care about her, it's that you want to see Sweet Tooth. That's what you're there for. Sweet Tooth and Big Man. Them two, you would just sit and watch them go from A to B, because it's like an expedition. So it's like he's trying to get to a certain area, and obviously stuff doesn't go as planned, and there's a lot of stuff I felt that I would much rather have seen the journey more. Then it cut back to flashbacks mid between. It felt like a bit of filler as well. And I get shows do that, I get it, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it has to be done where you care about that filler. So like if the filler was just Gus and Big Man having a chat about their old life, and then flashback to him playing a ball game, or flashback to, Gus with his dad, because I'd like to have seen a lot more of Gus and his dad, to be honest. Sort of growing up and living, and we see a lot of it in the first season, but first episode even. but it just would have been better. Like I say, the first season does a lot of flashbacks. Second one isn't too bad. Although there was a few in there that I really couldn't care about. Like there's a certain one where it shows the virus, and it shows how people act with the virus, and they go, the doctor and his wife goes to a party, and it obviously doesn't go as planned, and it's like the whole episode's them at the party, really. There's a bit of Gus and them, but the stakes for Gus at that time are bigger, and you couldn't care less about that party. You couldn't care. You couldn't care about how the neighbourhood reacts to the virus. There's like a Karen woman in it. I couldn't have cared less about them characters, and them characters are never mentioned again, never brought up, doesn't even show them at the end. That's my gripe. That's my gripe with anything, movies included. You'll know by my reviews. I don't like it when they introduce a character, they give them some screen time, and then they're never heard of again. Games, Last of Us Part 2, fantastic example of it. Watch the review if you haven't. That is just, yeah. He's a character. Oh, I'll give him a little bit of a backstory. Oh, yeah, this is what he does. Right, next one, the end of the game, so what happens to that character? Yeah, who were them again? Where did they vanish off the face of the earth? And that's what happens to these people. Like, there's a certain guy, I'm going to call him Cake Man, right? They do the house party. I'll just quickly tell you this. This is just my gripes. This isn't bad. It's just stuff I was like, oh. And I looked at my partner, Shelley, we were watching it together, and I looked and I went, do we really care about this? And she went, no, we didn't. You want to see Gus? You want to see Big Man. He's called Jared, by the way. And his IMDb thing says, a man of considerably large size. So it actually calls him a big man in the IMDb, which is good. And like I say, Cake Man, right? So that party, they're chatting crap, right? You don't care what they're chatting about. You don't care about this party because, again, you want to get back to Gus. So they do that. You even want to look at the woman who has the things. I'd even take her over that party. And at that time, I couldn't care less about her. I still couldn't have really. Yeah, I didn't really care about her, to be honest. I cared about the kids, but not her. No, not really when I think about it. Because it was sort of putting, where they put these flashbacks, they put it in, I know why, because it makes you want to watch it to see the next bit, but it's kind of like an advert. That's how I seen them, as it was sort of like a sort of distraction from the main story you were bothered about. Like I say, this party goes on, then let's just say, I'll say this, shit hits the fan. Alright, someone's got the virus. Yeah, you can see it coming a mile off. Because she's infected, so obviously she's going to infect them. So anyway, shit happens, virus, house gets burnt down, right? And there's a guy sat like outside, and he's just eating cake, like he doesn't care. And they're all chatting, and the camera sort of pans on them a lot. And you know the faces. If he popped up again, you'd recognise him, put it that way. But it made it seem like they were going to be some key characters, and like the stakes for the Doctor was going to be a bit higher because obviously certain things happen. And as it goes along, the Karen woman sort of plays up a little bit, and then that's it. Like, they're never heard of again. He goes somewhere else, and they are just, poof. It's like they don't exist. Cake Man doesn't exist though. And it's like, not that you were bothered about the characters, but why sort of set them up? Like, there's a group near the end. It's a completely different group, because obviously it's a different area. You get that, but it's like, if it was the group from that party at the end, you'd kind of be at least a little bit more like, that makes a bit more sense because they're all together. Or if they were included, or even if it just showed them sitting there, sort of like, because it would have been a good sort of way of showing how they're dealing with what they did to survive. Like sort of showing them, oh my God, I can't believe, we've just, murdered families and, cling filling people to chairs and burn them in the house alive, I might say. Yeah. And that's not really a spoiler. You can see it coming a mile off. And it's been done in movies. Anyway, it wraps itself up really nicely at the end. The ending is like the last season. The second season's good, don't get me wrong. But that last season that I've just watched was amazing. And I'm happy with another season. Just so show sort of, I won't say much, because I won't let you know what happens, but an aftermath would be nice. The sort of, you'll know, to sort of see what's going on. But like I say, it was a brilliant show, and I really am enjoying it. It was mint. And I would say my next show I'm watching now is that Dead Boy Detectives. And now that's mint so far. That's daft and funny. Again, I'll mention the show again because I was going to review it originally. The Shogun. Watch it. It's worth it. It's subbed, but it's worth it. Honestly, it's just the actors are just amazing in that. And obviously, watch Dead Boy Detectives as well because that's good. So far, anyway. There's a crow. That's all I'm saying. Right. I will see you later. And what I'm going to do now with my YouTube videos is I'm going to do sort of one video a week to sort of keep on top of it and just have a little hobby. And plus, because I enjoy this. Right, I'm going to end the video here. And I'll see you in the next video. I'll probably do a movie review. But I might do a game review because there hasn't been much to review either. It's another reason why I'm leaning closer because I need to push the button here. Right, I will see you in the next one. Bye. Uh-oh, if I can get the button. There we go.